So they cancelled Starfleet Academy. I thought it was a very decent show. So too bad for the fans that the show definitely had. I engaged with them online, so I know they are there. With this
Both of
cancellation,
them.
the Kurtzman era has come to an end. And how sad I may be about Academy being cancelled, the fact that we have no more Kurtzman, engage. This is the review of Champions, and I'm your host, Grandmaster. With me is a powerful panel made up of the finest champions Sakar has to offer. Let me introduce them to you. First up, we have Trek veteran Mr. Taylor first. How are you?
I am excellent.
That's great. And we have Trek rookie Merv. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
This is episode 25 of the Star Trek project, where we will be reviewing Star Trek. All of it, in order of release, kinda. And today, we're going to talk about Star Trek Deep Space Nine Season 4. But before we do, I want to ask you all to help us out. Like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. And if you really want more of us, you can join our ranks. Go to Sakar at sakar.freeforms.net, set up that account, get to know us. And you can do that all by clicking on the link in the description right down below this video. We would love it if you do that. As mentioned before, we will be discussing the 25 episodes of Season 4 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine today. And let's dive right into it. And we do that by starting with our section, Grandmaster Speaks. And in that section, I get to pick a few episodes which the champions have to sign off on. And this month, for season 4, I picked The Way of the Warrior, double feature Homefront and Paradise Lost. And the last one is Broken Link. I tried to focus on the overarching storyline, and these fit the best in. So, Merv, you are new to Trek. How did you like overall before you start signing off on those episodes? Enjoying season 4?
Yes. Yeah, I thought season 4 was a really great season that kind of propels the story in a certain direction that, I'm a couple seasons ahead now, and it doesn't really slow down much along the way anymore. So yeah, it starts something very good here.
Yeah, and it kicks off with The Way of the Warrior, which reintroduces us to a beloved character from Star Trek The Next Generation. Were you surprised that he was showing up?
Yeah, I didn't expect to see Martok. I thought he
was. He was not from the Jet Generation. But okay.
No, it might have been spoiled for me that Worf does show up, but just to see him and to see his interaction with the Deep Space Nine crew, who I already spent 3 seasons getting to know and love, and then in some familiar faces like I forget his name, the engineer, O'Brien.
Mm-hmm.
O'Brien,
yeah, O'Brien,
yeah,
Miles sorry. Edward,
foggy brain. But yeah, I thought The Way of the Warrior was a great start to the season and to a lot of things. Again, I love the Klingons, so anytime they're involved, and you brought a number 1 Klingon in Worf onto the show, so seeing his interactions with everyone and how it's a different environment than just being on the structured hierarchy of the Enterprise, like I think that's really interesting. And then everything that happens with the Klingons at the start of this season is fantastic. I mean, they basically show up and run themselves right out of the Federation. So the classic Klingon move of alienating everyone else from your own cause. But as we find out, and especially moving forward, that's kind of the whole Dominion thing is to infiltrate and separate and annihilate single entities one at a time instead of taking on an entire army at once.
Yeah, I
So
remember when I was rewatching this for this review series. My note when I watched The Way of the Warrior was, "This is how you start a season of television."
mhm.
With
Yeah,
this
it
kind of, it's better than Spock's brain.
yes. Oh, that's a throwback,
Maybe
even for me
slightly
at this
better.
point.
I don't know.
It's yeah, I thought it was great. It was super cinematic. It really had like a movie vibe to it. You don't. I didn't just watch part one. I watched part one and two together naturally as they were intended. So it really did feel like a movie mid series run or whatever. It really felt that epic at the time. So I thought that episode was great. Homefront and
Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost. I I thought was really fantastic, and it threw me for a curveball. One, Cisco and his family, his father, and Jake and all that. That's all fantastic. I love seeing Cisco in an environment like that where he can't just shout his way around the situation. He has to be at the beck and call a little bit of his father. That's a relationship it's familiar and good to see.
Mhm.
But the whole dichotomy of uh, the Dominion didn't even really seem like they were doing anything. It's really just the paranoia of the fact that they exist and could be doing something that really just ruins everything. And I like that they came around to that idea of we let them destroy us, don't destroy ourselves, just to beat them to the punch. That's kind of like the thought process behind it all. I thought that was a great two-parter. And then Broken Link, I thought was pretty good. I love or at least I mostly love like Odo centric plot elements. And we have one here, and I wasn't sure how I would feel about the outcome, which is him becoming a human. Uh, and I liked it, but having gone the full circle of it, which is really only like a couple episodes or whatever, and then he comes back around to being a liquid person. Looking back on it, it's almost like, well, what was the point of that? It feels like such a short lived, like big moment for a character that it kind of felt like a speed bump in the Odo arc, so to speak. But I do like anytime we get to travel to the Gamma Quadrant and see the founders and all that. I thought that was all pretty good. So these are some really good episodes in a great season. So
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. That's why I picked them. Taylor, your thoughts on these 4 episodes?
Well, this season comes at a point, TV history, where, in genre entertainment history, when it's kind of exploding all over, becoming more action-packed, more pulpy, and genre television, syndicated television like this was no exception. In fact, it kind of was sort of the catalyst for that explosion. So we have a lot of changes this episode. Cisco's bald. And he looks cool with his goatee and his bald head. All right, looks very much like a warrior. They changed the opening credits music a little bit.
Hmm.
They fired Siddig Al-Fadil as Dr. Bashir and replaced him with an actor named Alexander Siddig. Big changes. Did a great job stepping right into the role there.
Yeah, he also looks the same. That's amazing.
Exactly.
How they found they're like twins.
Exactly. They do the biopic. Cast this guy. But and of course you have Worf. Now they mentioned the destruction of the Enterprise, which of course we saw in Generations, right?
Yeah, Generations.
Right, in Generations. So now there's no Enterprise, so Worf's got a new job, comes to Deep Space Nine. Way of the Warrior is just great television. It's just a really great episode. The battle where the Klingon fleet attacks Deep Space Nine is one of my favorite Star Trek battle scenes of all time. It's just fantastic. And like Merv said, this is the Dominion pulling the strings, trying to weaken the Alpha Quadrant as much as possible without risking any of their own stuff, which they do, as much as they possibly can until they finally, later on, they have to go into all-out war because they're just not able to quite destroy the Alpha Quadrant from within, And of course, at the end, Gowron gives the great line. What was it? You sided against us in battle. This is something we do not forgive or forget.
Yeah.
So yep, that's a good episode. Now the other double episode, the Homefront and Paradise Lost Paradise, Paradise Lost, whichever. Good
Paradise
episodes.
Lost.
Good two-part episode for the reasons that Merv said. I feel a little bit at the end. They did kind of leave it hanging a little bit there because there are still changelings on Earth, and they're not gonna do nothing. So it felt like they weren't quite doing enough at the end to still address that problem that still existed and was still out there. But overall, great episode. Terrorist attack. There was a little bit of in the second half there, kind of like a 7 Days in May, where there was kind of a coup going on inside of the Federation because some people in Starfleet felt not enough was being done and something had to happen to stop the Dominion. So again, very action-packed, very tense pair of episodes. So those were really good. And then, of course,
it has a traditional thing, what the Star Trek always does, like have an evil admiral.
Yes. There's always one. You'd think
there's always one evil admiral, and then they get rid of him, and then there's the next one.
Another one comes along sooner or later. I don't know. Yeah. The screening process needs to be looked at. Yeah. But, yeah. And then To the Death. Yeah, I agree. Good episode. I agree with Merv that Odo becoming human was a little bit awkward there, and maybe intentionally so. Maybe it was supposed to be awkward, and people, they wanted the audience to feel like, oh my God, is he never going to become a changeling again? So it was a little bit awkward, but yeah, overall good episode. Mm-hmm. So yeah, those are three great episodes in a great season.
Yeah, I agree. You guys said it all, so I'm not gonna bother too long with these 3 episodes. But Taylor, you must have picked a few episodes out yourself as well.
So many.
Oh well, start with one.
Let me see which one I want to start with here. Before I get to an actual episode, I just want to mention that the episode 4 was Indiscretion, where Kira and Dukat go looking for survivors from the war, and they find Dukat's daughter, among others, and they're being held by the Breen. And I think this is like the first time we really see the Breen, who are really interesting. I'd like to see Star Trek, now that Kurtzman's gone, do a show about the Breen, okay? Because I want to know more about these guys. All right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
you want to know what's underneath that helmet.
Exactly.
And you want to know what the weather is like on that planet.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we can't talk too much about the Breen because I think Merv is not finished with season 7 yet.
That's right. This episode, Starship Down, I thought was really good. Okay, so the Defiant is in trade talks in the Gamma Quadrant, attacked by Jem'Hadar. They have this kind of cat and mouse battle with the Jem'Hadar in the atmosphere. And the crew really comes together as a team. They learn to work together, including Worf, who was kind of the outsider at this point and is having a lot of trouble getting in with the team. So I thought that was a pretty good episode. So I'll stop at that one for now.
Yeah, and there's actually a great storyline as well in the mess hall in the Defiant, where there's a torpedo that hit the bulkhead but did not explode, and then Quark and the other guy played by the same guy who played Zefram Cochrane in First Contact.
Yeah, Cromwell.
Yeah, James Cromwell. Then they had this little discussion, and then Quark at a certain moment said, when the guy says, I sold these torpedoes to the Dominion, and Quark immediately goes like, I thought you didn't sell substandard merchandise, and then the James Cromwell's character responds with, "Maybe I should offer them a discount." Well, it's so incredibly funny in this situation where there's a torpedo that can go off at any moment, and then they still find humor together with that. And then, it's funny. And Quark saves the day by yanking out a cable. I love it. I love Quark, by the way. It's one of my favorite Star Trek characters in history. But for that, I don't think anyone will disagree with that. Merv, can I have a favorite episode of yours? Well, Taylor's
Sure.
looking for his next one.
Quickly on Starship Down, I love that episode too. I really love the character pairings that kind of happened due to everyone's kind of isolation during the episode. But for me, I just start at the top. The Visitor. I'm fully through 6 seasons, and this is by far the best Jake centered character or episode. What a tearjerker!
Yeah.
I did not expect to start with Way of the Warrior, which is action packed, battle hardened, and then go right into this, which is like hit me right in the feels. You know what I mean? I thought it was amazing. Old Jake, played by Tony Todd, amazingly wonderful actor, as he's like telling this story to a reporter or like a college student. I can't really remember, but talking about how his whole life has been trying to save his dad, and it's basically a life wasted on. Not wasted in the end, but it's a sad life because he's just constantly trying and failing, and he has to wait so many years, and he tries something and it fails, and he tries something and it fails, and at this point he's an old man, and this is like his last shot at actually getting through and saving his father, and he does so, and he basically rewrites his whole history, and I just thought it was really emotionally impactful. And it was one of the best episodes this season, for sure, for me.
Yeah, The Visitor is generally hailed as one of Trek's, and I'm not talking Deep Space Nine Trek's. I'm talking all across all shows, one of Star Trek's absolute best. I didn't pick it because, like I said, I concentrate on the overarching story, but it was certainly a contender for my picks if I didn't. Do you have another one, Murph?
Not yet. I'll switch over back to Taylor.
Okay, Taylor.
Yeah, on The Visitor, in my notes, I actually wrote the words tearjerker.
Okay.
All right, let's see what other one. Here's a fun one, Little Green Men.
Yeah.
Where Quark and Rom and Rom go back to old Earth in 1947, and it turns out that they were the Roswell crash. And of course, they're the exact opposite of what we're at that time, or like what nowadays we envision as our alien visitors coming. My favorite line is like, how Quark is, of course, trying to turn everything into a business expense, and the general is like, well, "What about weapons? Oh, if you want weapons, I'm your man." I mean, they're supposed to be these peaceful visitors, Yeah, the time travel accident, and of course, the general is played by Charles Napier. He's a great actor, but he, of course, was in the original series as the main or the second in command of the hippies in the Way to Eden episode. So very different role for him than that one was. But yeah, it's just a fun episode.
Yeah, absolutely. And how they trick the nurse into giving Umox always cracks me up. Yeah. You do know about Umox, right, Merv? Yeah, okay. I know, that's good. It's good. Have you found another one?
Yeah, I'm going to go with To the Death, which sees Cisco pairing up with rebellious or Jem'Hadar, or trying to stop a rebellious Jem'Hadar group. And it just highlights one thing for me, which is that the Jem'Hadar are being used just like so many other species in this, and they have a level of honor about them that reads through, and it really showcases how what's Wei Yun's race, like those people,
Vorta.
whatever
The Vorta,
the Vorta
yeah.
are like horrible. It's like the Jem'Hadar are like the muscle, but like the Vorta are one of the real problems here in its overall the Dominion hierarchy. But when the Jem'Hadar kills Wei Yun at the end of one of his several dozen deaths in the series, I thought it was awesome. I just it was like if everything else could just get out of the way, I feel like we could have a conversation with the Jem'Hadar, addiction aside,
Right.
and actually get things done. But like, there's too many people pulling the strings for that to happen.
I'm glad you picked this one because it's also the introduction of that great Jeffrey Combs character, Wei Yun.
Yeah.
And I think everybody loves Jeffrey Combs in the Star Trek family, and rightly so. And it's one of his many characters he gets to play inside of Star Trek. You haven't seen even half of them, I guess. But this is, I think, his third character he plays in Deep Space Nine. I think he
I don't
made
know.
a hot.
Have we seen Brunt yet? His Ferengi character?
Yeah. Brunt is in the
FCA?
first 3 seasons, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, he played that character that by the Hollow Suite program from Quark, where he programs Kira into. So Jeffrey Combs is Star Trek royalty, and Wei Yun is his most iconic character, and I love it that you picked this one. So thank you for that, Merv. Taylor, you want to discuss another episode?
Yeah, I also like when the Jem'Hadar killed Jeffrey Combs there, and they said that was for questioning our loyalty or something like that.
I'll show you.
I love the Jem'Hadar. Let's see, so many.
Yeah. If I may, I want to drop the episode For the Cause.
For the Cause. You know what? That was on my list.
Well, you can talk about For the Cause.
Okay. Got Lieutenant Commander Eddington in there, who joins the Maquis. And they did a good job with that. They brought that character in, and he was just kind of there in the background for a while. He was a recurring character, and then he became this kind of almost a big bad, where he joins the Maquis and becomes a traitor to Starfleet. And then For the Cause, of course, we find out that Cassidy Yates is smuggling supplies to the Maquis because she feels for those, the Maquis represent those colonists who are in Cardassian space and being mistreated by the colonists. There's two sides to this thing. And also in this episode, Garrick starts forming his friendship with Ducat's daughter, who now lives on Deep Space Nine, which and she'll become a more important character, of course, as time goes on. So yeah, so again, the turning of Eddington, the arrest of Cassidy Yates for her crimes, and of course the side thing of Garrick and Ducat's daughter, all happening all in that one episode. So a lot happened there.
May I point out that you mentioned Cassidy Yates, Michael Eddington, Garrick, and Gul Dukat and his daughter. That's 5 characters. And none of them are credited as a main character in the opening credits.
Yep.
And essential to this show. And that is what make Deep Space Nine so great. You have thousands, dozens, I should say, dozens of side characters who are essential for the story, who become beloved characters. I mean, I know you can mention another 10, 20 easily. And that is a main reason for my deep love for Deep Space Nine. It's a show that can elevate side characters to have amazing arcs and become essential to the storyline. And I love it. And For the Cause is, like I said, you mentioned 5 characters which are not in the main cast, which is great. And they actually have episodes with side characters solely. The main cast is not even there, and I love that. Merv, you have another one?
Yeah, the one more that I'll mention, which I I loved the majority of. In the end, kind of fell off a little bit for me, but I mentioned it anyway. Is the Sword of Kahless,
Kalis,
which
yeah.
Kahless, yeah.
Mhm.
Which I loved it, one, because we already saw Dax and Core working together. We know there's a history there. In this kind of, I don't know if this is the initiation of Dax and Worf kind of, not becoming a thing yet, but like they're them actually specifically interacting strongly as two characters. But obviously that goes much further um, in future episodes and seasons. But I love the Treasure of the Sierra Madre, and this is kind of a reimagination of that, which is essentially like people just letting greed corrupt them, and I like the twist on that with this artifact, the sword, how it is affecting the characters and driving them against one another. The only thing I wish was done slightly better was that the resolution of it, because I didn't really buy that, like all of a sudden they're just like, nope, let's just put it in a place where nobody can get to it or whatever, and we're all fine now, we're all good, because they were literally about to kill each other. So that was the only wrinkle about that episode. I liked it a lot, and I was, looking back especially, it's like, you see a lot of maybe the foundation for where they go with Dax and Worf as a couple, as a pairing.
No, no, Dex has a love for Klingons like you.
Agreed.
So, anyway, I don't know.
Just so you know that how on the same sheet of music, me and Merv are. Here's my notes on Sword of Kahless. Korg is back. Quest for the Sword. Tomb Raider. Worf, Core, and Dax equal Treasure of Sierra Madre. Kinda silly ending. Those are my notes.
Yeah, well,
Did you steal my notebook?
you see, veterans and rookies, they can have the same thoughts, and it's amazing. Yeah. Okay. It's time for my monthly
Yes.
question. As you all know, at the end of our Deep Space Nine review series, which will be in July, I will ask both Merv and Taylor and myself, by the way, to make a top 10 list of their favorite episodes of Deep Space Nine. And Merv slowly starts to realize how difficult this task actually may be. But my question, of course, like I do like it is every month, is Merv. Do you think an episode of season 4 has a chance to make it to your top 10 list, knowing that you now watch the first 6 seasons?
I mean, I could definitely see like the Muse getting up there. Maybe some other ones like that. No, yeah, you're right. Now that I'm in the final season, I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually going to be a much harder list to make than I thought in earlier seasons. But yeah, I think there's a pretty strong chance. I think at least an episode from this season will make it.
Taylor, same question for you.
I can say this is probably the first time I can say 100%. There will be
Okay.
an episode, at least one episode from this season that will be in my top 10 list. And
And
it's
I,
not the Muse, but hey, the Muse has Meg Foster, and Meg Foster is always awesome. Okay.
I think I can safely say, for me personally, the Muse is right up there with Move Along Home
hmm
as one of the weaker episodes in Deep Space Nine's history. It's as simple as that. But it's not Sub Rosa bad. Nothing will ever top that.
And now I get that reference.
Yeah. But okay, I'm really looking forward to you to your top tens. What it will be in the end, and I also want to hear about our struggle to get there. But we will have that discussion in July. That will conclude this month's episode of the Star Trek Project. We hope you have enjoyed our discussion, and if you did, you can help us out. Like and share this review, subscribe to our channel, and join our forum at cigar.freeforums.net. We would love it if you do that. Episode 26 of the Star Trek Project, we will be discussing Star Trek Deep Space Nine Season 5. Who saw that coming? You can also check out our review series for Daredevil Born Again and Maul Shadow Lord. All on our channel already. So I thank you. For now, I want to thank you all. Well, also on behalf of my fellow champions. And I wish you to live long and prosper. Bye.